What's up, y'all? Michael with Mike's Customs. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm doing. I went ahead and left the valve covers because this is gonna be treated with heat paint, as well as I primered the fan and the pulley and the starter. Right, so starter's primered. I really don't want to get grease on it, so I'm gonna wait. But from one side is primered, obviously the other side's not. But I did as much as I could that wasn't touching that mat. Got a little paint. It's all right. But yeah, so you never want to touch your stuff. Really, just to keep your fingerprints off and the paint flicking back up. I could have sanded it down a little better. But this stuff is just to get the car going. If I really wanted to do it good, I just go buy everything brand new. I spent out here all morning just prepping all the parts. Basically got to wash and clean and scrape all the grease off of them. Yeah, all the nooks and crannies got the grease scraped out of it. Everything. Trust me, it was hard. Basically in this little brim, it like goes in deep. And it was just like everything and anything you could think inside of there, as you can see. I didn't have no air to blow anything off, so I did my best. You can see there's still crud still in some of them. Like I said, this isn't $1 million paint job. This is just to look good for our first time. Obviously, this is for me. So this isn't a client paying where it's, you know, funded. This is me doing it myself, funding my own project. I've been working since I was a little kid, watching, you know, these shows on TV. I'm 32 years old. And I'm doing my own build. I was thinking about doing the camshaft, the timing chain and all that, but I figured whenever I gotta do the timing, I'll just do the camshaft as well, because it involves taking the distributor off and doing a bunch of hoo-ha and retiming the engine, and I don't know. But from what I asked, people tell me it's hard, that you need all the materials necessary, like the camshaft, new sprockets, double timing chain, but the double sprocket gear, and then, you know, the gear on the back of the distributor. Sorry about the camera moving, but the gear on the back of the distributor, when you pull the distributor out, there's a gear on the bottom. You want to change that out. That connects to the shaft. Obviously, the new shaft, you have the option if you want to put on the manual pump, which will give you the extra lobe. There's a lot of things to consider, you know what I mean? As well, you have to change like the push rods. I really don't want to open any of this up right now. I just closed it up earlier and spent a lot of time doing it. But yeah, there's rocker arms, as you can see the shape of it. There's the rocker arm. And then you got springs on one side and then the push rod. See how thin it is? The push rod on the other side. None of mine are bent. Good signs. Everything's clean on top. So the engine does look like it was running. But yeah, you just got to keep in mind, when you're doing a camshaft, there's a lot of components to change. Push rods, maybe the rocker arms, the springs. I mean, it's just how deep do you want to go? But the springs would involve taking the valves, and at that point you want to do the head gaskets. I mean, if I'm taking the intake off, I might as well do the head gaskets. So it's just like, that's why I'm not digging into that right now. This engine was sold to me running. I'm going to go ahead and do what I can do. I'm going to dress it up. I'm going to make it look good. The water pump's down there, thinking about painting it. The engine block will be getting painted. I'm still degreasing it. Obviously, I ran out of degreaser and cleaner. Spent all day using this little tub here, collecting like just the worst of what you can think is in here. I mean, it's just fucking foul. But yeah, and then my brackets are in there. I gotta clean so I can paint. I actually forgot those were in there. Should probably pull these out. I even got gloves so that I'm not wasting material. Everything's clean. Basically, I've just been spending the day out here cleaning this for like a week now. I've just been cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. It does not happen overnight, trust me on that. The videos look good. But yeah, so before I pulled these valve covers off, I had already cleaned the upper end of the engine with a scrub brush. I mean, like ridiculously good, clearly. Up here on the valve covers, you can only clean so much on this valve cover area because there's a lot of things in the way. But I did run a bristle brush all through the sides prior to removing the valve covers. This way I didn't have no debris falling into the actual head. So whatever's in there is below the valve cover. Was gonna do the oil pan, but I want the oil pan to be the last thing I do. And I really don't want to set it on the ground. So that's my problem right now. If I do the oil pan, what am I gonna do with the engine? How am I gonna set it down so I don't mess up the oil pan so I can drop it in the engine? So I might be ordering a cart. I don't know though. If not, I might set something up. Once the brackets are on, then I could put the engine stand on it. Unfortunately, I'm gonna paint them, and I'll put the engine stand on it. It's clearly gonna like, I don't know, leave impressions in the paint, but I'm not worried about it. No one's gonna see that part. I haven't decided what I want to paint everything or what my color scheme is gonna be, but black and copper is kind of the route I want to go. Valve covers are going to be copper, so the brackets are going to be copper, and this is all coming up on the plan right now with the video. Valve covers are going to be copper, bracket will be copper. The starter, I'll probably do black on the big part of the motor. No, I'll do black on the solenoid, and I'll do copper on the big end. This way, like the car, you know, you're going to paint the bigger pieces, the main color, and then you're going to paint the smaller pieces. Well, in most cases, when it comes to trim, you always want to paint the smaller bits, right? But for me right now, I'm going to treat the starter like a car. I'm going to paint the outer end copper, and I'll paint the inner end black. I was actually fighting over that right now in my head. Pulley's going to be black. Fan's going to be black. If y'all didn't watch my YouTube short, this pulley, which is the main drive pulley for the belt, the fan, these are painted with non-heat treated paint. So just a friendly reminder, never add engine, and disclaimer, I'm not responsible if you mess something up or catch something on fire. Please and thank you. Please remember that. But when you're doing this, I'm not using heat-treated paint. Or actually, I am using heat-treated paint on the starter. The primer isn't. But this isn't on the engine. It just mounts on the side of the engine. So this is an external part. But this piece, non-heat-treated paint, non-heat-treated primer specifically, non-heat-treated primer. The paint that's going on it will be heat-treated. The valve covers, on the other hand, will have heat-treated primer and heat-treated paint. I'm just, you know, obviously going to use what I have for specifics. So like 2,000 degree Fahrenheit Rust-Oleum. That's actually what I'm using on this entire project. Don't ask me why. I just kind of like what the paint looks like. I like the way the paint lays. It's a good product. Rust-Oleum, waiting for that sponsorship. Rust-Oleum. But yeah, that's what I'm using. Everything's going to be heat-treated. Right there, you saw, this is the black we'll be using, right? For the fan, for the pulley, that's the black I'm using. Screenshot if y'all need it. Buy it like anywhere, local hardware stores, everywhere. But there'll be heat-treated paint on here. As far as the copper, if I need black, then I'll add this black. Valve covers, again, will be copper. What else do I need to talk about, touch on? Yeah, this is my prep. I have a light. I don't know where to quite put it at this moment. But yeah, that's the engine. Everything's bare. Again, I'll have videos when I touch on the motor, just like how everything here is in the light. I just wanted to show what metal looks like prepped and bare. Before I do anything to it, it looks ugly and gross. And, you know, you never want to touch your stuff because obviously I use like a special cleaner. So just clean everything and keep, like, you know, it's basically like acid, and just took everything off the surface of it. That's why I said bath. Always put a garbage bag in your bucket so you don't make a mess on the floor. It did get a little bit out of the bag, unfortunately, right there. But, you know, had I double bagged, but I used my other bag here to keep the floor clean here. As you can see, just a little bit that got on the ground was pretty devastating. That's just gonna have to like scrape off. But it's all here on the tire, it's all there. I just don't like how that rusted metal looks and how this engine block looks. So the color's gonna be blue, a Chevy GM blue. Sneak peek, sneak preview. If you made it this far in the video, sorry for the long video. I love what I do, and this is a dream of mine, and this video means a lot to me because this is all my work put to a standard of me. You know, this is gonna be like describing who I am and what I do and how I do it the way I would have always wanted to do it as a kid. What was I gonna say? This sharp mask on me right now. But Michael Man Mice Customs, like, subscribe, comment if you like what you see here. Yeah, appreciate y'all watching the video. Hopefully you made it this far. And y'all know now that the video is gonna or the engine's gonna be painted a GM Chevy blue, something old school, something back in like 1975. Blue was only around for like certain years, you know what I mean? So check it out, like, subscribe, comment. Peace.